just checking in with everyone. I wanted to look at the astrology for the plane crash and just tell you what I see on the astrology charts. I pulled a couple of asteroids that I thought would be important to the case. Let me wipe off my glasses because I actually can hardly see tonight. I'm really struggling with my eyes. So just give me a second. Okay. All right. So that's interesting. So I thought I'd pull car asteroid. Hey, Brooke. Hey, the real Gemini. It's good to see you. Hey, Aggie. I wanted to just real quick tell you guys what I saw. On the astrology. Sorry. So I just pulled a chart and we'll start breaking it down a little bit and see if we can make sense of what exactly happened. The dog is sitting behind me again, and she just got done eating a big plate of the dinner that we didn't eat. So her stomach is growling and making all kinds of noises behind me. So I don't know what you guys are going to hear behind me, but she's sitting behind me. Okay, so hi. Hey, Criminal Justice True Crime. It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. Okay, okay, so I just wanted to talk about the plane crash a little bit and just tell you what the stars are saying. Remember, I'm not a professional astrologer. I'm learning this, and just going to tell you what I see. Okay, so here we're just going to start breaking it down. Here we have the AC line, which is going to represent all the victims in the plane. Immediately, we can see that we have Virgo ruling the AC. So what does that tell us? That tells us that we're going to have multiple victims involved. I also pulled the par of fortune when I pulled the charts, just to see where the par of fortune is going to play out. Think of the par of fortune as the victims as well. It can represent what was going on with the victims or describe where the victims may be. So we know we have multiple victims, and Virgo is in an earth sign, but it rules the sixth house usually. That's its home, the sixth house. And in the sixth house, it rules service to others, health, and your overall well-being. So we already kind of know that we have victims, multiple victims that their health could be in danger. With the par of fortune at the 18th degree, that is an anaretic degree, that is a negative degree in astrology. It rules, it's the devil, okay? It represents something very evil happening. And so we have multiple victims in the house of sorrow and endings that's ruled by Poseidon. Poseidon is the god of the water. So Poseidon is the lord of this house, and Virgo is sitting in there right now. And affecting health. So the water is truly affecting these victims. I believe that if they didn't die from the impact, Poseidon is the one who took them under and took them under the water and has them hidden. So across is what is the enemy to my multiple victims is, again, look who's sitting there. Poseidon, Neptune. So again, we have the god of the water, the god of the ocean. He controls all waterways, is sitting smack dab right on top of that DC line. And this is at like 9, what time is it? 9:10 p.m. So I think they said the impact happened between 9 and 9:10. I believe, because like, look here, like Uranus is the planet of accidents in the house of travel. So, and he's conjunct Algol. That means that, they're really feeding energy off of each other. So again, algol is mass catastrophe. Excuse me. Unfortunately, it's also conspiracy theories. So I have a feeling there's going to be some weird conspiracy theories circulating this accident. I really hope not, because, well, I'll just tell you everything. Let me break it down and I'll tell you everything that I see. So, I pulled the asteroid car, which means cargo, transportation, and that is in the house of death. So we have a tragic event in the air. Thank you, Aggie. Hey, Susie Q. It's so sad. It is a tragedy. I know, Brooke. Thanks for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. Okay, back to the chart. So, this is transportation and cargo, and it's in the 8th house of death. So I also pulled this asteroid here. His name is Phaeton, or I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. The Greek ones are hard, the Greek mythology. I believe it's Phaeton. And he's this guy right here. He stole Apollo's carriage, right? And it was pulled by horses. So this carriage, that's Phaeton. He wanted to take Apollo's carriage. So think about Greek mythology and then apply it to modern day astrology, right? So this is something that's very powerful, has a lot of force behind it and movement, and somebody's doing something they're not supposed to. They're not following the rules, and he ends up stealing Apollo's carriage. And Apollo's job was really important. Apollo is the one that used to take the sun across the sky every morning, right? So he would pull the sun with these horses. And he ended up wrecking Apollo's carriage, and it was tragic. It was like a tragic accident and, a crash. And everyone was really upset with Phaeton. So that is in the 8th house of death as well. And, that makes me lean, and it's in the sign of Aries. Let me double check. Yeah, he's in Aries. So he's in Aries in the 8th house of death. So this is why I'm thinking that we have an accident. With Neptune in the North Node, here, they're conjunct. They're only one orb apart. So these two are really feeding energy with each other. And when you have the North Node like that, hugging the DC, this is blurred vision or blurred boundaries, okay? Affecting everyone's destiny, affecting everyone's kind of reality here with Neptune there, because Neptune is the fog machine. He's kind of like somebody's out of bounds here with this energy feeding off of each other, I would say. The vertex is at the 18th degree, affecting everyone's health. Saturn, 17th degree, affecting everyone's health in Pisces. So again, everyone's health is affected because of the water. Because Pisces is also ruling the 5th part of the 7th. Aries is also another planet that, because it's ruled by Mars. So the ruler of this chart is really Mercury, and Jupiter is telling a true story, telling us the story of what's happening here. And then you can always go down here if you want to like just kind of get the overall energy here. So look at all this water. Water. I keep putting erasers, so it's going to make weird marks on my screen. So we have a lot of water here and then air. So this tells you a lot about the energy happening on the astrology. Accident over the water. Mars can be an accident. Saturn is the physical body and water. Neptune, water, the North Node and water. And then we have all these planets in air. So this is a air accident over water. Just looking at this little box right here, I can kind of feel that energy coming off the charts. So believe this the seventh house is an angular house, which makes me think that they are going to recover everyone. I think they'll recover pretty much so mostly everyone. I believe it's going to be a pretty quick recovery. I mean, I hope they recover everyone. I understand it's the water and then there's current, but when it's in an angular house, I mean, you can expect people to be recovered pretty, or that you have that you have an idea of what's going on. When it's in a cadent house, it can kind of take longer to find people. So the fact that, you know, the ruler of the DC is in Neptune and Jupiter. With Neptune being here, I really think that it's going to be a quick recovery. I really do. That's just my own opinion. I really hope they do recover everyone. Let's read a couple of the fixed stars that are involved over top of Neptune. I'm going to read the fixed stars probably between Neptune, Venus, the vertex, and Saturn. It'll cover these fixed stars right here. Again, we're using Kirsty McIntosh's book, The Criminal Astrologer, for the fixed stars. Okay. So we are here in Pisces. So I would say, oh, you guys can probably hardly read it, but basically it's saying the mouth of the river, drowning, right here. See the word drowning? A star of sorrow. So yeah, a star of sorrow, mouth of the river, could be sudden success to public office, people going into another realm, through the mouth of the river, the star of sorrow, violence, problems, legal problems, accidents, unfortunate position, imprisonment, self-imprisonment. So see, that makes me think that maybe some of them got trapped in there. Drowning, extreme misfortune, catastrophic event. So that's the fixed stars ruling these planets right here. And it's affecting health and what's, you know, what would be considered an open enemy to our victims. I really think Poseidon is the one that did everyone in. If they didn't die from the impact of from Mars, because this is the accident, Chiron and Aries, that's a physical. So in crime, Mars is either like rape, rage. Mars can be anger, conflict, but he also rules accidents, car accidents, plane accidents, explosions, right? If he has, does he have anything going down to the sun? He rules accidents. So, and it's accidents that would have lots of cuts and scrapes and bruises in the head injuries, especially to the temple, to the eye sockets. Pisces would rule the feet, injuries to the feet. Mercury being here in the fifth house, that's their solar plexus. The sun being conjunct that, because this is our victims right here in the sign of Aquarius. That's telling me a tragic accident. Like, extremely unexpected and tragic is what affected these victims. The moon there, so that's water. And Pluto is there, so that's death, right? And they're all, it's a stellium. And they're all kind of clumped in there together, all in the sign of Aquarius. Now, the fifth house can kind of rule military and authority. And it makes me think, it makes me just wonder, like with this Neptune and North Node, and they had possession of the helicopter, it makes me wonder if the people in the helicopter had a misconception of distance. They were they were out of bounds. Somebody was out of bounds here. Jupiter's still in retrograde, so they're out of bounds. In the sign of Gemini. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting, right? So the AC line is telling me I got multiple victims underwater. And the ninth house of travel, this is long distance travel. This rules Neptune as well. So Neptune, the ancient planet of Pisces is Jupiter. So this is also what is a threat to our victims. And it's two vehicles. So because Gemini is the twins, two, right? So we have two vehicles right here. Two vehicles. Big explosion is Jupiter, blows it up, makes it bigger than what it is. Algol is there. That's mass catastrophe, chaos, destruction, with the planet of Uranus, all in the house of travel, long distance travel, which is a shocking event. And any second, you're going to see Uranus cross over into the eighth house of death, and it's going to slowly cross the threshold of death. So this is at 9:10. I would say between 9:10, probably 9:30, closer to 10 p.m. Everybody working at this accident knew everyone was dead. I would honestly say that they probably had an idea after 9:15 that there was no recovery. That's what I'm thinking. Because everyone in this accident, the planet of accidents, goes into the house of death. And the chaos goes into death. And, you know, with that phaeton there, it's a crash. So I'm leaning more towards an accident, not really like... I know there's... some of you have texted me about, like, a conspiracy theory or did, like, a drone come along and hit the plane or... You know, is there something that we're missing? I mean, Neptune can be things that are hidden, but with the North Node there, it just makes me think it was out of bounds and out of sight. Like something is, they might have not been where they were supposed to be. The helicopter was probably not where it was supposed to be. I'm thinking, does any of this make sense? You think a dragon cloud blinded them? Hey, Whistle, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here. Love ya. And the planet is cold. No one would survive the temperature. Oh, really? Because it's so cold? See, and that's Poseidon, Brooke. He got them. I mean, don't think Poseidon's evil. I mean, Poseidon isn't evil. It's just, this is how the planets talk to us, right? I mean, Poseidon isn't evil. I love Poseidon very much. He rules Neptune. And he's the god of all he rules the waterways. So, I mean, and look at him sitting right on that DC line, which would be what directly affects the enemy. What directly affects our victims. And it's Neptune and it's Poseidon, and he takes them under. And he takes them under here. You see them going under here as well. So they probably drowned. I pulled the DNA. You know, DNA is at a 1 degree, so, you know, something happened at between 9 and 9:10. So it's a beginning and an end at the 1 degree, because we've already crossed that threshold. You know, and Sagittarius is also a lot of trauma and blood loss. And then it goes into Capricorn, which rules the physical body. So at the end of the matter, we have a bunch of bodies hurt, right? At the end of the matter, there's harm caused to the physical body, because Capricorn rules your skeleton, your body, your hair, your DNA, basically. So it's interesting that we have DNA here. And the moon also rules water. So, I mean, and like for the government, like the 10th house rules the government, it rules the president, it rules like, you know, the people in authority, the people who were in authority, it rules like a judge. 7th house is more like lawyers. This is more like the judge, really strong people in power. So, you know, again, it's an accident. It's because this is the planet of conflict, rage, metal, weapons, sharp metal that pierces the skin and causes a whole bunch of trauma to the body. And it's over water at our seat of power. Cancer also is America. We are Cancer. America is Cancer. And our rising sign is Jupiter. So we are ruled by the moon in America. So this is us. So there's a accident, chaos in our seat of power over a body of water, because Cancer rules water as well. A large body of water, decent sized amount of water. So, I mean, I see like this turning into conspiracy theories, and I really hope that it doesn't, because I honestly think that the helicopter people were out of bounds. Their depth perception or something was off with that. And I really just hope we put the victims first. There'll probably be a lawsuit out of this. Looking at this. Yeah, there might be some lawsuits. Or people might try for lawsuits. Try to blame someone. But honestly, I think it's human error. I don't think it's anyone's fault, per se. I don't think we should be blaming Republicans, and I don't think we should be blaming Democrats for this. I really just see this as a tragedy. It doesn't matter who was in power, this was going to happen, okay? Really doesn't matter, you know? Kind of a thing. And it's just a shame, because then the victims get lost in all this. If they make it political, then our victims get lost. And I really don't want it to become political. I honestly see it being honestly, if I saw some weird conspiracy shit over here in the 10th house, or if I saw something weird, I'd tell you. I really think this is an accident, guys. I really do. I don't see like a drone coming in and nothing like that, okay? I honestly think these guys didn't know what they were doing with their helicopter. And caused a massive crash. They caused destruction. They were out of bounds. They were doing something they weren't supposed to. They didn't have an idea of their depth perception, and they ended up crashing into it. Like, or they had like a mental breakdown, and then they just crashed into the plane, because Neptune could be someone under the influence or something. But I tend to think that, you know, they're drug tested there, that everyone would be sober. I would hope so. I mean, because Neptune can be drugs, delusion, lies, alcohol, prescription drugs. But more so, I think it's this. I think it's somebody was out of bounds. Somebody was doing something. Somebody was where they weren't supposed to be and did something they weren't supposed to do and caused an accident. It's very sad. What do you guys think? Hey, Sweetly. Hey, Saul. It's good to see you. Oh, thanks. I'm just trying to show you what I see on the astrology. I mean, I'm not a professional astrologer, but I've really been doing a lot of studying. I think I'm getting stronger. But this is what I see. And I really think that it's an accident. I think it's a tragedy. Here is their vital life force, and here's our victims in accidents. This is shocking, unexpected events going up to accidents. See? Their life force, the victims, with Pluto, death, the victims, multiple victims, their vital solar plexus, their life force in water, going straight up to the planet of accidents. And then their body, their physical body, the vertex is going up to, making it bigger, an explosion, 2 vehicles exploding, affecting their body, their health, going straight up to Jupiter, which rules the enemy to the victim. Jupiter blows it up, makes it bigger, pop, right? 2 vehicles 2 planes. Explosion. In the house of travel, long distance travel. 9th house is travel. 8th house is death. 7th house tells us, what's the enemy to our victims. A wound that never heals in Aries. That's cuts, scrapes, bruises, head wounds, horrible injuries to their body, okay? A wound that never heals to them. So that's what I see. Oh, thanks, Saul. Appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. We're really happy that you're here. Oh, you live in Kansas? It's horrible. It's just horrible. I was hoping that they would recover someone, because I was thinking it looked like a head-on collision, and maybe it was just like the front part of the plane that got the most damage, and then they would fall in the water, and then they would come, then they would be rescued out of the water. But no, I mean, looking at this, that's shocking, unexpected event going into death. And Gemini, yeah, like they wouldn't have made it. Looking at the astrology, I don't think they would have made it. And I think that they would have known by like 9:15, 9:20, everyone was dead. Honestly. They probably would have been telling each other there's no chance of recovery. Probably like around 9:20, 9:30. Probably. Looking at the astrology. It's very sad. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you what I saw, because some of you guys are texting me about the drones, and I just don't see it. Okay? I mean, I could be wrong. I don't have any ego attached to this. Like, I totally could be wrong, but I'm just not seeing it. All right. I love you guys. We'll head to bed now. Praying for everyone. Some people are saying that a drone hit the plane and made them both crash.
Stacey, get the fuck out! What the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck out!
Kaden, what are you doing?
Dog.
Okay, well, you don't have to cuss. Stop it.
Get out! Stop!
Come here, Daisy.
Oh my god.
Well, she's lonely. She wants to be with you. Watch your mouth. My goodness, this girl is out of control lately. She went back to school today. Today was her first day back to school. We had her out, and we were doing homeschool. She's 16, man. Ugh. Ugh. I'm not going to make it. Oh, and another thing, this T-square. Yeah, so there's a little T-square here. If you can see it, this little triangle. And so when you see this little triangle on your charts, think of it like all this energy. So Mars, the planet of accidents, Neptune, the planet of water, going straight up to Uranus. So these 3 planets are working. There's an energy flow between them, and where it points is the explosion. It's like, poof, that's where all this tension releases. So the chart is trying to tell us that this flow of energy is pointing straight to Uranus, which is a tragic event. You have another little T-square here. So you have a flow of death. You have a flow of tragedy and unexpected event flowing into Neptune. Do you see the other T-square here? So I have a T-square here pointing to Neptune on the DC. So that's Poseidon taking everybody under in the water. So this is an explosion of energy to Neptune, and then an explosion of energy to Uranus, which is a shocking, tragic event over water. Crazy. Astrology is talking to us. Junie, just remember, we were little 16-year-olds too. I know, but I didn't have that bad of a temper. She's got a temper on her. I found that crystal chick. She looks way more like Jody Sue. I told her I think she's her mom. The real Gemini. You are so freaking funny. I watched a little bit of her nervous breakdown. Because I don't know if you guys know, like she was telling people that her parents kid, kidnapped Summer Wells, and and that she is in charge of the kidnapping ring. So, and then she ties all these people into this crime thing that she's got going on, and I was one of the people that she looped into this to this conspiracy stuff. I don't understand her. I I feel for her. I don't know what's happening to her mentally, but like how are you going to come on YouTube and tell everybody that your parents uh took Summer Wells, have her hidden in their basement or something, and the cops are there. Like people were thinking that Summer was going to be rescued. And that was just cruel, you know? Like that's awful to do to people cuz people believe her. She has she has about 3,000 subscribers. So 3,000 people in this world support her. She says she's part of the mob. She says she runs the skinheads. She says I think she said she ran the cartels, but I can't remember. Some mob boss. She's a mob boss. She runs the mob. Oh, and she runs the psychic network too, and that's why she said something ignorant about me because she was like, "Oh, I own the second psychic network too," and she's dead serious, looking into the camera, like, honey, I don't even claim to be psychic. I use astrology to help keep me grounded, because honestly, if I told you guys half the shit that spirit shows me, I think you'd think I was crazy. So the astrology helps me stay grounded and logical, okay? Because sometimes if I totally rely on my intuition, I don't know. Spirit shows me some really crazy things, you know. She does kind of look like Jody Sue. I think Jody Sue is way prettier than her, actually. I'll give Jody Sue that. Something's wrong. And it was kind of like sad because in a way I felt like I was witnessing someone. Were we all witnessing someone have a nervous breakdown on a live stream, and we were all just like, I felt like I was watching it in real life. Like, is this a real life nervous breakdown? And we're all just sitting here watching it on a live stream, and I don't know, it just felt really uncomfortable. It was just really awkward. Her name is Crystal Crime Time or something like that. I think she has other channel names too. But, you know, she thinks that okay, so she thinks that Ziggy and Fred laundered Fred's property from her, but Fred, you know, that property was sold. Fred doesn't have any access to that property anymore. It was sold. But so Crystal is accusing Ziggy and Fred of money laundering and stealing the property, or doing something with her property because she thinks she owns Fred's property. And I don't know. Honestly, I can't even follow it. It's so crazy, some of the things that she was saying, that even if I repeat it back to you, I might be wrong. But regardless, you know, she accused me of being Jody Sue Brown's sister. I'm not related to Jody Sue Brown. I've traveled all around the world, guys. I've been all around the world. I've been to Bermuda. I've been to Canada. I've been to a lot of tropical islands. Acapulco. I've traveled a lot, but I've never been to Tennessee. I've never been to Tennessee. So I would love to see Tennessee. I think Tennessee is beautiful. I think it's a beautiful place. But I've never even been there. I mean, my family's crazy, don't get me wrong, but we ain't crazy like Jody Sue crazy. No offense, Jody Sue Brown, but I don't know. They put the funk in dysfunction. I think everyone on Beach Creek puts the funk in dysfunction. But I have no room to talk. My family is just as dysfunctional. We put the funk in dysfunction too. I mean, my daughter just freaked out on the dog because she wants to go to sleep. Sloan Bella. Yeah, I like Sloan Bella. I watch her. All right, good night, Brooks. Brooke, good night, sweetie. Love ya. You're exhausted? You don't believe in Bella? Hey, Emma. I like Bella. Good night, Brooke. Love you. Sleep well, honey. All right, everyone. We'll all head to bed. I just wanted to show you what I saw with the astrology and how it's talking to us. And that's pretty crazy that it showed drowning, right? You see it right there, the word drowning. For a fixed star. Drowning. Mass catastrophe, accidents, legal troubles, and being swallowed up by the mouth of the river. All right, everyone, good night. Sending love and light to all of you. Many blessings. Blessed be. Good night.